If you're in charge of hiring a mental health keynote speaker and you know the wrong choice could make you look unprepared, stressed out, or totally out of touch with your audience, then this video is for you. As someone who spends a good amount of time being a mental health keynote speaker, I've gotten to know meeting planners well. How do you pick the right speaker for an event? Because let's be honest, this isn't just about booking a big name. It's about booking the right fit for your audience, your goals, and frankly, your reputation. And if you want to make a smart decision, you've come to the right place. I'm going to walk you through the 5 questions that event planners ask me most often before making a decision on whether to hire me. First, how long should a mental health keynote actually be? 2, what type of mental health talk does your audience really need? 3, how can you tell if a speaker is actually engaging? 4, when is the right time to book a mental health speaker? 5, and finally, what on earth should be in the contract? Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what to ask, and what to avoid before you sign anything. My name is Mike Veny, and if you want a deeper look at my own work, I've included a link in the description so you can learn more about me. Because the wrong speaker can waste your budget. The right one can completely change the energy in the room. Let's get into the questions that matter most. Look, if it's your job to book speakers, I want to make the whole process simpler and much more strategic for you. In this video, I'm breaking down the most important things you need to know before hiring a mental health keynote speaker so you can choose someone who's a perfect fit for your audience, your goals, and your event. So, number 1, how long should a mental health keynote be? The first thing planners wrestle with is time. It seems simple, but the length of a presentation can make or break its impact. There's no single magic number. The ideal length is a strategic choice that depends on your event, your audience, and where the speaker fits into the schedule. A keynote has to be long enough to deliver value, but short enough to keep the energy high from start to finish. So let's break down the options. For a quick, high-impact message, especially if your agenda is already packed, 20 to 30 minutes can be perfect. It forces the speaker to be concise and deliver a potent shot of inspiration in one single powerful idea. The most common format is the 45 to 60-minute keynote. This gives the speaker enough room for storytelling, data, practical takeaways, and an emotional connection without totally exhausting your audience. Anything longer than an hour is a risky move, and it usually only works if it's more of an interactive workshop with things like Q&A to break it up. When it comes to mental health, the pacing of the talk is even more important than the length. These aren't light topics. You can't just rush through subjects like burnout, stress, or trauma. A great speaker knows how to give the audience moments to breathe, reflect, and process. They build in intentional pauses and smooth transitions to guide people, not overwhelm them. So a key question for any potential speaker is this: can you customize your talk for different time slots without gutting the core message? Finally, think about where the speaker is on your agenda. An opening keynote has a different job than a closing one. An opener needs to energize the room and set a positive tone for the whole day. They've got to be dynamic and fast. A closing keynote, on the other hand, is there to tie everything together and send people off with a memorable call to action. In a lunch session, that's the trickiest slot of all. Attention naturally dips after a meal, so a speaker then needs to be extra engaging and maybe more interactive to keep people hooked. Your takeaway is this: match the length to your event's purpose and always ask a speaker if they're comfortable delivering a 30, 45, or 60-minute version of their talk. Their answer will tell you a lot about their flexibility. Number 2, what type of mental health keynote does your audience need? Once you've got the timing down, the next question is even more critical. What kind of mental health talk does your audience actually need? Booking someone to talk about mental health in general is a gamble. Booking a speaker who addresses a specific pressing need is a strategy. The topic has to connect with the real lived challenges of the people in that room. Are you trying to build resilience, improve workplace well-being, teach stress management, or prevent burnout? Each one of those requires a different kind of speaker. Start by defining your main goal. Is the point to educate, to inspire, to drive a specific action, or to help shift your entire company culture? Your answer will help you filter out speakers who aren't the right fit. From there, match the message to the audience. Corporate teams dealing with high-pressure environments need practical strategies for workplace stress and burnout. College students, on the other hand, might need talks on building community and developing healthy coping skills. And leaders, they don't need the same talk as their employees. They need to learn how to lead with empathy and build supportive teams from the top down. This is why so many generic inspirational talks fall flat. A speaker can be incredibly moving, but if their stories don't connect to a real problem the audience is facing, the inspiration is gone the second they leave the room. It's a sugar rush with no nutritional value. The best speakers get this. Before they even plan their presentation, they ask questions about your audience. They act more like a consultant than a performer. A speaker who just wants to know the time and location is a red flag. A speaker who wants to understand your people is a partner. Question 3, how to know if a mental health keynote speaker is engaging. Okay, let's talk about the big worry. How do you know if the speaker will actually keep the room engaged? We've all been there, trapped in a session where the speaker has a great message, but delivers it in a way that could cure insomnia. Engagement is the magic ingredient, and luckily you can vet for it. Your most important tool is their video footage, and I'm not talking about a slick 90-second highlight reel. A highlight reel is designed to show you the highlights. You need to ask for a full, unedited presentation. Watch at least 20 minutes of continuous talk. This is where you find the truth. Are they conversational? Or do they sound like they're reading a script? Do they make real eye contact? Is their tone flat? Or does it have some life to it? A truly engaging speaker can connect emotionally while still being clear, and they can balance the seriousness of mental health with a sense of hope and genuine human connection. Beyond the video, ask for references, and again, be specific. Don't settle for polished testimonials on their website. Ask for the contact information of at least 2 or 3 planners who hired them for a similar event. Then, have a real conversation with that person. Ask them directly, how did your audience react? Was the speaker easy to work with? Did they deliver on their promises? That candid feedback is gold. Finally, trust your gut when you talk to the speaker directly. An engaging speaker is usually an engaging conversationalist. Do they listen as much as they talk? Do they ask thoughtful questions? A great speaker makes people feel seen and heard, not lectured at. So use this 3-step filter. Demand full video, get recent references, and have a real conversation. And throughout it all, just ask yourself, would my audience actually pay attention to this person for an hour? I am curious, when you think of a truly great keynote speaker, what makes them stand out to you? Is it their content, their energy, or the connection they build with the audience? Let me know in the comments below. Number 4, when should you book a mental health keynote speaker? Engagement is key, but so is timing, because the best speaker in the world doesn't do you any good if they're already booked. One of the biggest mistakes planners make is waiting until the last minute to find a speaker. The earlier you start, the more options you'll have. It's simple supply and demand. In-demand speakers are often booked 6 months to a year in advance. Starting early doesn't just give you more choices, it gives you leverage. When you're not rushing, you have time to vet speakers properly and negotiate terms. Last-minute bookings almost always lead to compromises on the speaker, the message, or the budget. A speaker with a full calendar has no reason to negotiate their fee, but booking well in advance might give you more room to talk. More importantly, booking early allows for a true partnership. The best keynotes aren't canned speeches, they're customized presentations that come from a deep understanding of your audience. That takes time. It requires briefing calls and collaboration. A speaker booked 3 weeks out will probably give you their standard talk. A speaker booked 6 months out has the time to get to know your organization and craft a message that's perfectly tailored to your goals. So before you even start reaching out, get your key details ready. Have your event date, audience size, location, budget range, and the core purpose of the talk figured out. Coming to the table with this information shows speakers you're serious and makes that first conversation way more productive. Number 5, what should be in a mental health speaker contract? Once you've found the right person, the contract is the single most important document you have. It protects everyone involved and gets rid of any gray areas. Never, ever rely on a verbal agreement. A vague contract is just a recipe for stress and misunderstandings. Your contract should be detailed. It has to spell out the non-negotiables, the exact date, start time, the length of the presentation. It should include all the venue details, whether it's in person or virtual. Travel and lodging must be clearly defined, who books it, who pays for it. The payment schedule is also critical. The total fee, the deposit needed to hold the date, and the deadline for the final payment. A professional contract will also have a clear cancellation policy that protects both you and the speaker if something unexpected comes up. Now, don't forget the tech side. This is a big one here. The contract should outline all AV needs. Does the speaker require a specific microphone, a projector, or confidence monitor? For virtual events, what platform do they use? You also need to address permissions. If you plan to record the session, the contract must state that explicitly and outline any extra fees or limits. For a topic as sensitive as mental health, it might also need to clarify expectations around content, pre-event reviews, or providing support resources for the audience. A final planning call to walk through the contract line by line is a great idea. Clear contract is peace of mind. Now, if you're responsible for planning workplace events or supporting employee well-being, I want to introduce you to a new topic, how to hire the right workplace mental health speaker. You may have questions about pricing, customization, and finding someone who truly fits your organization, audience, and goals. The right speaker can do more than inspire employees. They can reduce stigma, encourage meaningful conversations, and provide practical tools people can use immediately. That's exactly what I cover in the next video. I'll put it on the screen now. Just click or tap it, and I'll see you there. If this video was helpful, please like it, share it, and subscribe for more.